Welcome to my channel. I'm Venus from Heart's Desire by Venus, and we are working on our Vintage Circus Lapbook. Last week we did the acetate pocket, and we did this waterfall with a pocket on the inside and just a plain mat on the other side. So today we're going to deal with this part here, and this part here, and this part here. So out of the stuff that I'm working on, the supplies, I've got that Cirque du Soleil book, and I thought this image would be perfect right here in the back, so that when you open everything up, we get to this great photo. So I'm just going to add this in here, and then we will start working on the other parts. I just love the images in this book. It's amazing, the photography on this. So I've been slowly cutting away the book, but honestly, it's been a little hard to cut at them because they're such beautiful pages. But I will add more of them, I think, into the junk journal. But I thought this is a very large space that I could use one of the photos that I wouldn't have to trim much off of. So hence the reason we are doing this. So I'm just going to glue it in place as well. Get this going here. All right. Now let's just get this in place here. Mat it in. All right, varnish it. All right, so then we'll decorate that one. And I have an idea, but I cut the mat out already for two reasons. I wanted to make sure this was going to fit, but I'm needing the mat to help me for my plan for this part. So the mat is going to be this size. And what I want to do is, out of the kit, I've got this great elephant print, but it doesn't quite fit exactly how I want, so I'm going to make it fit. So I took the background here just so I could draw lines on here to make this fit the right size. So I'm just chopping off a little bit of the tail, a little bit of the trunk, but I got most of this in here. And what I'm going to do, I printed 3 of the exact same image, because what I want to do is put some pockets in here, but I want to have the same image. So I'm going to just slice across here, I think in 2 spots, and make a pocket. That's the plan anyways. We'll see how this goes. So I'm just going to trim this down. Actually, move this all out of the way first. So I'm going to trim this down. I traced on here the mat so that I could position it perfectly to get in everything I want. So now I'm just going to trim off the edges here. All right, and then, so that'll be the back part, and then I got to do it 2 more times for the other 2 parts. So I'm just going to line it all back up here. I mean, I could measure and be precise, but to be honest, this is easier. I'm just going to lay it down in camera here and trace out the lines for the other 2. Which I think is right there. All right, so now I'm going to cut these 2 out to the same size. So then I'll have 3 pieces, in theory, the same size. Get this in here. All right. So there is my 3 identical pieces. So one is going to be the back, and then I've got 2 here. They're going to be pockets. So I guess what I have to do is decide where I want my pockets to go. So I think, and they're going to be flat pockets so that there's no flaps on them. It's just going to be to slide a few smaller things in. I think I'm just going to, let's see here, if I do it at 3 inches, yeah, I'll cut it 3 inches. That'll be a narrow pocket. And then I'm going to cut the next one at, because that would be my pocket there. I think I'm going to do my next pocket at 5.5 there. So when I put it all together, there's your base. There's the next piece, and there's your next piece. The image is still intact. So now I'm just going to put my little pull-out part on there. So let's just measure these and see how wide these ended up being. So these end up being 8.25, no, 7.75 is what this ended up being. So we're going to cut 6, 7. I'm going to punch right about there, I think, is the middle. So I'm just going to use my circle punch in reverse. Eyeball it, I think we're looking at. Oh, that was close. Almost did it in the wrong spot. You want it up here. Looks good. Cut that out there. So then what I'm going to do is line it up with the other one so that the punch is all in the same spot. So then I've got 3 like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and stitch all the way around this. I think that'll be the easiest way to hold this all in its place. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see I have stitched all the way around. So I'm going to tape this up and glue it in place. You could glue this instead of stitching. I've just been trying to do a bit of stitching in this journal or this lapbook, and you know me, I like to do my stitching, but gluing would be perfectly fine. Whatever you want to do on that. Let's just get this all taped, and then I'll burnish this in. All right. Get that tape picked off. All the way around. And let's glue this in place. I'm actually really happy with how this Lapbook is coming together. It's starting to go really well. All right, sorry about that. Of course, everybody comes out to the woodwork when I'm filming, and the phone rings and everything. So I've peeled this off. I've got this glued, and we're going to attach it to this location here. So let's just make sure I got my elephant going in the right direction. We'll get this positioned in here. Oh, I think that turned out really well. So now I've got a pocket here and a pocket here for adding things in. So that works out perfect. So now we are going to work on this spot here. So here's where I did that mat for it. And I've decided I'm going to do one more pocket. And I have this scrap piece of paper, and I wanted it to be an angle pocket. So all I've done really is just lay it out on my paper here, because I want it just to be a corner like that. I just traced around here. And now what I'm going to do is, now that I've got that pencil line, I'm just going to go a 1/2 inch on either side of that pencil line so that I will have a gusset. I'm just going to cut that down that way, and a 1/2 inch on this side. So now I'm going to go back in and score on that pencil line that I created. And this will give me the perfect angle pocket for my spot. Plus, I got to use up an offcut that I had on my desk. So I'm just going to run my tape down. I always like to run my tape down before I cut the corner parts off, because it just allows for maximum tape ability there. And I'm just going to miter the corner here, take a notch out, and let's burnish this in place here. So you can see on this side, I'm going to just take off, snip that corner off, and fold on this side, burnish it, and again I'm just going to take off that corner piece there. So I'm just going to distress it before I put on, but that is basically how it's going to go. Now I'll do some embellishments on here later. I think what I'm going to be doing is just going through this, putting the base pieces all together, and then I'll go back through and add embellishments as needed, and do that near the end. I like to just get all my functional parts going, and make sure it's all working right. All right, I'm gonna just put my lids on my inks here. Okay, and I'm also going to glue this again just to be safe. All right, let's get this. Ew. Got goop. All right, let's line this up and burnish it down. All right, so now let's get this one all taped up and ready to go in. And we are just about done that front area. Get this in here. All right. Get this going. Oops, just about threw out my poker instead of the tape strip. All right, I'm going to glue this good because this is also going to have some movement on it, so I want to make sure everything is sealed in. All right, and now I'll get the spot where we're going to put it. All right, so that's going to go here, and let's make sure our pocket's in the right position. And let's just get this matted in here nicely. Burnish it in place. All right, so now this whole section is ready to put in to our lapbook. So I'm going to just tape this section up. And we definitely want this one to be adhered really well because of all the moving parts on it. So I'm going to just do a double strip of tape. And I will still be gluing as well. Get a couple of strips in here. All right. Going through a lot of tape with this project. And glue, actually. That's all right. And these two here. All right, let's glue this. I have to get more glue too. All right, plenty of glue. Set that aside and get out our Lapbook. So then this whole piece, put that down, is going to go here. So let's just make sure we've got it the right way, which would be this way. And we're just going to get this all lined up, top to bottom, right to left. That looks good. And I'm just going to flip it right to the last page here and do the burnishing. That's looking good. All right, so then here's what we've got. We have got our waterfall cards here. We have got our pocket here. We've got our acetate paper doll pocket here. Opens up, plain spot there. We have got our elephant double pocket here. Close those back up. Flip it this way. And now we have got our side pocket here with this beautiful acrobat in the background, or juggler here. So we are definitely making progress, because then this goes like this. So next video, I'm not going to do these journals quite yet, but the next video I think we're going to work on the front half of this side, and we'll go from there. But it's definitely starting to take shape here. Oop, got all my papers. Starting to take shape. You can see inside here how it's starting to fill out. And this is why I put the journals in here, because, you know, you've got one journal that's going to be going over this way. One journal that'll be going this way. I wanted to just make sure I have everything fitting in here. So you can see we're doing pretty good. So if you're following along, that was a tongue tie. If you're following along, please hit a like button and let me know how you're doing. Go on over to my Facebook site and show me what you are creating or how you're using these techniques. If you have discovered us for the first time, there is a video series. I will try and link it right about here. Feel free to follow through, start at the beginning, and join us on this journey for a vintage lapbook, vintage Circus lapbook. And for the rest of you, I will hopefully see you again soon. Have a great day.